Welcome back to Awake and Bake, where we get high vibes and talk about the universe. I'm your host, Danny. I'm actually really fucking excited about this episode. I have a lot more motivation for this episode than I have in quite a bit, and that's saying something because I've been motivated low-key. I want to talk about alchemizing your energy, taking back power, and taking control using your power. Also, I want to smoke with you, so make sure that you have something to drink. We got to stay hydrated and something to smoke. I'm still smoking my high 90s manganade indica. Oh, I totally just lied. It is not an indica. It is a hybrid. Thought this was a rabbit? It's Winnie the fucking Pooh. Let's take a hit, and then we're going to get started. You wouldn't know this because I just edited it out, but that hit took me the fuck out. Anyway, we're going to ease into this topic. We're going to start out light and then work our way to the deeper shit. First of all, what does alchemizing mean? Let's talk about it. I'll define it for you, bitch. Well, I'm not going to define it. Google's going to define it. Google said, to alchemize is to transform the nature or properties of something by seemingly a magical process. And the way that I'm going to talk about it is by turning hate into power, by turning a bad situation into a good situation, or by turning jealousy into motivation, those kind of things. Let's jump the fuck into it. Let's get into step one. Step one, my most important step is start honestly trying to do this all the fucking time, because you need to kind of work up your practice with it. Like, you already have the power, but if you don't know how to do this, if you don't know how to utilize this energy, it's going to take practice. So start doing it all the time so that when you're actually in a situation where emotions are very high or where the situation is a bit more serious, you can utilize this because you're like, oh, I'm used to it. You won't have to be like, wait a minute, now's a good time to try something for the first time. This is how you create also just a reality that you love. This is how you allow yourself to control your environment and not let the environment control you. Control your energy and don't let other people's energy control you. And in honor of Libra season, I need you to remember this. When you're going about this process, it's never your loss. And in true Libra fashion, it's not even your fault. That's kind of a joke because it's like, okay, but even if it is your fault, you're telling yourself it all happened for a reason. It was supposed to be this way because, you weren't supposed to end up with that person. You weren't supposed to end up with that job, whatever the case may be. So even if, it is your fault or there's a lesson that you need to learn because you put yourself in that situation, it's never your fault. It's Libra season, okay? So we're going to act like a fucking Libra. Everything is going to turn into a positive, and the more positive it is, it's going to help us grow. Even tough situations help us grow, and Libras love growing because that's what keeps us better than everyone else. PSA, that entire last bit was a bit. It was a joke. I'm very bad at sarcasm, so I felt the need to come on here and clarify that in case you are also bad at sarcasm. But if not, I'm sorry, I just wasted 9 seconds. But don't worry, I'm not going to leave you without some examples or kind of ways to go about this. Now, the way that you choose to alchemize your energy is going to be up to you. I can kind of get into some ways of doing it, but it's super personal and it's different every single time. And it's more of just sitting with yourself and figuring out what you need. We'll take a hit and then we'll get into it. Taking a fucking baby hit so I don't die. So you're like, all right, bitch, I'll bite. How the fuck do I alchemize my energy when I lose somebody from either a breakup, a friendship breakup, just having to cut off an individual, or maybe they cut you off and you don't know why, or you do know why? For me, it's all about figuring out what is my lesson here, what is the universe trying to teach me, and then moving accordingly with that same energy in mind, with that same intention in mind. So for me personally, whenever some type of relationship ends of some kind, I'm always like, okay, what was the lesson? Usually the lesson is I outgrew that person. We weren't morally aligning. Maybe we weren't going to align down the road. Regardless, rejection is protection. You are going to be better off this way. Then you can move forward being more picky about, okay, well, what kind of person was that and what changes do I want to make going forward about who I allow in my life? Maybe there were certain parts of that person that I did not vibe with, and I don't want to continue to have people like that in my life. That kind of thing. Find the lesson. Or what was the dynamic like in that relationship? Maybe that's not a dynamic that you want to continue repeating. Maybe you didn't like ways that you acted in that relationship and you want to have relationships that don't bring out that side of you moving forward. Whatever the case may be, bitch, figure it out. Now let's talk about on a slightly larger scale of not just having a falling out, but what if it's some drama, some tea? We all know that shit happens where it's why is this a big fucking dramatic issue where other people notice it, other people might be involved, whether it's online on social media, or you got crazy family members that are blowing up, or you got crazy neighbors that are going off, or you got some dramatic issues with people at work. Whatever the situation is, something that is not being handled in a nice, civil, mature manner, because let's face it, shit happens. And what I say, not your fault. Sometimes the universe is literally forcing you to take action, and maybe it's something fucking random. You didn't really put yourself in this position, but guess what? Now you're fucking in it. Maybe you are the right person for this situation. Maybe up until this situation was brought to a ton of other people and nobody stood up to this bully. Nobody took action against this person. Well, it's your turn, bitch, okay? And you're gonna have faith knowing that you can fucking handle it because the universe put it in front of you because you can fucking handle it. It's not good energy. It's not fun having to deal with toxicity and drama and negative fucking people. It's a lot of energy and it can be very exhausting. And I'm not trying to downplay that or say that it's like fun or it should be thought of as something light to be funny and joked about. But if a dumb, possibly evil motherfucker is starting shit, that is not your fault. That doesn't fall back on you, but you do get to decide how are you going to respond to that energy. Are you going to absorb it and allow it to like upset you and fuck you up? Or are you going to respond to it by feeling your emotions, being, oh, I don't fucking like that. That's a signal that I need to set a new boundary, take action, and then do those things. The universe is putting you up for a challenge and you will level up. It's not supposed to be easy. Challenges are not easy. And then on like a more intimate personal scale, maybe you are dealing with feelings of like not feeling good about yourself or jealousy or comparison, stuff like that. You can still alchemize that energy. You really can. First of all, figure out what it is about that person or that situation that is making you feel jealous or insecure or wanting to compare yourself. Not so that you can fix those things about yourself, but that so you can identify, oh, okay, these are the areas that I'm having issues with within myself, feeling secure about within myself. You're going to use this as motivation and inspiration. We don't need to tear this person down. We're upset because we're like, damn, like I feel like they're in their power in some way that I'm not. Okay, put yourself in your power in the way that you're currently not. I'm not yelling at you, baby. I'm talking to you from experience. I still do this because sometimes I'll compare myself to people, Tate McRae. But then instead of being like, oh my God, I wish I was them or I wish I had that, I'm like, just embody that energy, bitch, and then you'll feel better. And it works. And then on just like a kind of more serious example to kind of close off my example portion of the video, serious shit that happens, okay? Really fucked up life situations. You got laid off, had a fucked up childhood, you were in an abusive relationship. These things are most of the time fully out of your control to a certain degree. You know what I mean? Like you are the victim in situations, and that is absolutely fine and fair. There's still a way to alchemize your energy, but you do have to make sure that you are honoring your emotions and feeling your feelings first. And then from there, after you have really felt those feelings, you can start to kind of utilize that energy. Sometimes it even comes out in the form of anger that almost pushes me a little bit as motivation. And then I use it to almost better myself. So when we talk about like, say you had a really difficult childhood and a parent who not only was abusive, but like belittled you and did not believe in you. Bitch, I'll show you. And I have, and did, as Cardi B said, and did. You know what? It's not even doing it out of spite. You're doing it out of power. You're taking back your fucking power. Because let me tell you something, success was my goal and I had so much fucking motivation. I had not shit to lose. I only had shit to gain. I was like, I already feel like I'm living in hell. So I'm just going to crawl my way out of this tooth and fucking nail. And did, bitch. Let's take one more hit. Like I was saying earlier, start doing this all the time for situations that aren't just big, but like small ones too. You will notice how the universe starts responding to you. Because at this point, you're playing with the energy of the universe. And she wants to play back, bitch. She wants to have a good time. She's like, finally, this was the game the whole time. You finally learned the rules. I leave you with this. You are a master at alchemizing energy. Healing is not linear. And just believe in your bad bitch self. And stay high. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your grandma, and as always, stay high.